Well, hello and welcome to the Mitsubishi Motors Badminton Horse Trials for 2014. I'm here courtesy of World Horse Welfare to take a look at the safety angle that's now been included into this sport. The changes from the 80s, 90s to what the sport is today. And part of that will include speaking to the British Eventing Safety Officer and one of the veterinary panel from here at Badminton. But it's particularly exciting this year. After 25 years of Hugh Thomas designing this course, we have a new designer in the shape of Italian Giuseppe Della Chiesa. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's got for us out there. Let's go take a look. It's just a little bit of a slow me down question, isn't it? It's not that technical, but it's airy and it's wide. Good start. So Jonathan, as British Eventing Safety Officer, can you tell us a bit about what you've done within the sport to make it safer on the cross country and anything you've got planned for the future?
Well, we've had frangible pins for a few years now, and then a different take on these is, as we've got in this fence here, is what we call reverse pinning, which is when we actually have the rail behind the posts rather than in front of the posts. Basically, we're trying to stop rotational falls, and that is when a horse hits the top of the rail and starts to somersault over the rail. So if this, which is the pivot point of the fall, can get out of the way, then the horse has got nothing to rotate over, so it then comes back down to the ground without a rotation. They might still have a fall, in this case get wet, but the horse is not coming down from a great height on top of the rider, which we know is the type of fall that is the most risky.
And we've noticed, as you were saying, that some of the original pinning, the pole is in the front of the post. The difference between the two, do you think one's better than the other or safer than the other?
They both work the same principles. The only difference is, you can see from this fence here, it's got a longer, softer profile because the rail's behind the post. If the rail was here, obviously the fence has a much more upright appearance to it. So it's really a course designer's tool to use whichever he feels appropriate. Both front and reverse pinning, the pin should fail within the load required to help stop a rotational fall.
But going back to the 80s and 90s when we didn't have these fences, now that we've got them, have we seen an improvement in sort of accidents cross country or reduction in accidents, I should say?
There has been a reduction year on year, but I'm not going to say that definitely it's because of the frangible pin. I think the frangible pin has helped, but also the fact that we rigidly collect data from every single fence on every single cross-country course in this country. We know its height, we know its spread, and we know all the falls that happen at the fence. We collect all this data, we collate it on a sort of monthly basis, and then there's an audited report done annually. And I think it's concentrated the mind of both the course designer and the technical advisor on the falls we have. I think that probably has helped to improve course design as much as anything.
Well, it's good to know that these wires and pins are there, and if needed, they're going to help the horses. Let's hope they're not used over this event, not needed over this event, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Looks jolly friendly from about 3 strides out, and then you get here and you think, yikes. I think the difference these days, the modern theme, is with all these top rails being pinned, it makes the whole aspect of cross-country riding much safer. It means that now horses that make a mistake, the pins break, and it hopefully will avoid any major disasters and nasty pictures. Going back to the good old days of the 80s, in my time, we'd have had a fence like this, but it wouldn't have been pinned, so it was, in the lap of the gods. If you got it wrong, what was going to happen? The other thing that I love about this fence is the fact that the arms are just hanging out into nothing. The flag's stuck on the end, there's no post there, so in a way it's a little bit of an optical illusion to the horse. There's no sort of definite end to the fence, it's only the flag there. So even more consideration has to be given to the accuracy of the line that the riders take. Very, very clever fence, but it's for the brave. Tell me, what would your day-to-day routine be here at Badminton?
Yeah, so our normal routine varies actually depending on what we're doing. Cross-country day is quite distinct to the other 3 days. So for dressage and for show jumping, there'll always be one vet down here. There's another of us based up in the main arena. Cross-country day is obviously quite a lot different as there are many more of us. There are about 12 vets out on the course. One of the issues with the park is that there are different locations that are quite hard to get to. So as well as individual vets at different fences, we also have roving vets. And those roving vets are surgery specialists, complete with an anaesthetist, and they have the ability to sort of take over, if you like, if there's an equine emergency. They're also based with their own horse ambulance, so the whole premise is we can try and get horses away from the course, get them back here for triage, if you like. Based within the hospital, there's 3 of us, so I'm a specialist in internal medicine and critical care. There's another surgeon here as well, and we've got a sort of fleet of interns and nurses, along with X-ray equipment, endoscopes, ultrasounds, and enough drugs to sink a battleship. We'll deal with most things here, and then if needs be, actually the equine hospital I'm based at is about 25 minutes away, and so we have the ability also to move horses away from the event with a very convenient police escort as well. So hopefully we're set up at every stage for pretty much every emergency one would expect to get.
It sounds very well organised. So rough numbers, and how many vets and vehicles would you have on the go from cross-country day?
Yeah, so on cross-country day there is a vet associated with pretty much every fence. We then have 3 sector vets, and so those sector vets are the specialists. So in total there's been about 12 and 15 vets, as well as the FEI guys. So we have a veterinary services manager, 2 FEI delegates, as well as the rest of us sort of lowly treating vets. So 12 to 15 out on the course, another 3 or 4 back here in the clinic. So I'm not quite sure what the sort of communal noun is for vets, but there are quite a few of us around. Once the event is over, so once the cross-country day is over, we'll have plenty of horses coming here for sort of general maintenance, really. So quite a lot of them will have medications throughout the event. We also have the ability to give horses intravenous fluids or oral fluids here. So as you well know, a lot of horses will dehydrate during cross-country, and getting that fluid back into them is quite an important part of getting them ready for show jumping. So cross-country day we'll be here till around about 10 o'clock with horses having fluids. It becomes quite a sociable event, really. We even get the odd rider coming through, but plenty of grooms and horses coming in and out.
And the stables, we know, on the Saturday night cross country, they're closed. I think it's about 11 o'clock until 5 in the morning or something. That people are not meant to go in there. But I presume you guys have access.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're all accredited FEI vets. So we have our little ID cards, as well as getting signed in with wristbands. And yes, we're allowed access to the stables. At night, we're always escorted by an FEI steward or one of the security guards. We never go into stables without having a representative of the horse there, unless there's an absolute emergency. Actually, one of my jobs spans the sort of first couple of days is to listen to all the horse hearts. One of the issues we have with Badminton is the area of unloading at the village hall is quite busy, and so doing a proper examination is quite difficult. And so I spend the first couple of days sort of traipsing around trying to find horses and representatives or security guards that can go and listen to hearts. But no, everything is entirely regulated as one would expect for a 4-star event.
Well, there is no doubt that Giuseppe Della Chiesa has stamped this course as his own. It's a very exciting course, but a very fair course. And I have to say I'm delighted to see how much time and effort has been put into the safety angle for our horses.